You learn your lines the day of the shooting.
Or I have an earpiece during the take. If we do season
Golf
2, I
carts.
demand a golf cart.
Are you going to do season 2?
If they, I have no idea.
Nastier than ever.
Do that again. Do what you just did again. Do it.
Do you have a crotch shot? No, of course not. Okay.
Whose crotch? Yours or
I mean,
mine?
mine. You
Are you
can't.
concerned
You're
for my
covering
crotch?
your balls up over
I am.
there.
All
How
right,
you
so
doing,
here we are.
man?
I'm good, man.
I miss you, man.
It's good to see you.
I miss you. I miss you. I
What
mean,
way?
like, well, you know, we spend
But
all the time.
I'm only a phone call away, Danny.
No, I call you.
know
I
that.
text you.
We text each other.
Okay, we text each other.
Thank you. It's good
Because
to see
we
you.
spend a lot of time hanging out on the Tim's movie.
On Dumbo.
Oh,
That's still to this day the most beautiful set
what a lovely
I've ever worked
time.
on. Yeah, it was gorgeous.
I had a
And the
great
set was
time.
magic.
Mhm.
Going to work every day in that big warehouse they had.
Oh my God! All
And
the
they built a whole theme park inside a warehouse that they used to
Yeah.
build Zeppelins in.
yeah, it was
And
amazing.
they had cars and horses and 300 people in a
was
building.
amazing.
It was the weirdest thing, but it was
He's got a
beautiful.
vision, Tim.
He's magic, Tim.
Just a magic guy.
How many films have you done with him?
5, I think.
Batman, which we'll get to.
Which
Because
we have to
some
get to.
stuff talk about. El Penguino, not the original.
We got to get
It's
to.
certainly
no,
not as hackneyed,
Batman
certainly not
Returns.
as delayed to the party as I was.
Batman Returns.
Yeah.
What was your first? Was
With the Penguino
Yeah.
thing? The Batman film.
the Batman film?
Yeah,
they
yeah.
call it. Batman Returns, Mars Attacks,
Mars
Big
Attacks,
Fish.
Oh, Big
uh,
Fish is beautiful.
What a movie!
Big Fish is beautiful.
John
That's one
August.
if it's ever on the TV, I could never turn it off. It's just, yeah.
Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, what a screenplay that was.
Mars Attacks,
Yeah,
Batman,
right. And
Big
then
Fish.
Big Fish.
what were the other two? Dumbo
Dumbo.
and...
I did Hoffa, and so one day he was visiting the set, and I was doing a scene where it had been a big brouhaha and you know, a dust up, and several people died, and there was some open caskets and some closed caskets, and I had an open casket, and Tim was visiting. He was over by the monitor, and I said, "Tim, you want to be in the movie?"
Solid
So
casting.
you know, you put a little bit of
Not
white,
much.
not much
Not much
makeup.
needed.
You know, you stick him in the coffin. We gave him a suit, stuck him in the coffin. He's laying there
comb
with
his
his
hair?
eyes closed. Just combed his hair a little bit, looked really nice. And I did a shot overhead looking. And if you look at it in Hoffa, you could catch him. He's the last coffin on the left before I get up to Nicholson.
It's a good name. It's a good name for his autobiography.
The
if he ever does
Last
it,
Coffin
the
on the
last
Left.
coffin on the left. Did you like doing the Penguin?
I
like playing
did.
it? Did you?
I did. I had a great time doing that.
I was 13 or 14
You
when
were
it
a
came out.
baby.
I was obsessed with that film.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you in it.
Yeah. I loved working with him. I loved doing the part. It was operatic, really great.
Was it a simple yes when he asked you to do it? Or
Oh,
how,
yeah.
How did he
Oh,
come to you about
absolutely.
it?
No, simple yes, and,
Yeah.
and just back up the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make a lot of money.
Makeup tests and all that stuff, because
Oh,
that
gosh.
was as extreme a look as I had on mine. It was very different, but just as extreme and just as arduous in the mornings. I
Well, the
imagine.
first time I saw yours, I said, "Oh my!" It was a total transformation. How long did it take to do the makeup?
3, and the first makeup test was all in. Like we tested in the Warner Brothers lot about 6 months before we shot the film, and that was 7 or 8 hours.
Yeah,
But that was the first time, and everyone was
Yeah.
nervous, and they had a team of 15.
Yeah.
And then they got it down to about 3 hours in the morning.
yeah. So,
But
same,
it was
same with Oswald.
astonishing. Yeah.
Like you're Oz, I'm
Yeah.
Oswald. Okay,
Yeah.
we'll straighten that out. The same with Oswald. We started out with a 5 or 6 hour makeup job, with all the stuff, and then they whittled it down to every morning. I was in the chair for, I would say, 3.5 hours.
Oh wow. Yeah. Did
So
you mind it? I
what
didn't
did you?
mind it.
What did you? You didn't? Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't.
I mean,
Once
I was fortunate I didn't hate the people I was working
I
with.
love the people I was working
Same.
with. V. Neal, she
Same.
was amazing.
Mike Marino, Mike Fontaine,
That's
Stella,
the big thing.
Crystal.
When you're working with people who
Bobby.
you care about, and
Yeah.
they care about you, and they understand what you're going to
But
go
then it's
through,
not a task. You're
and the
just hanging
task that
out.
they have to do.
You have a coffee. You play some music.
Well, my ritual was this: I get there in the morning, like 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, out here in the valley. I was in California. Where'd you shoot yours?
New York.
New York.
Yeah.
Okay, so the idea is I get there, and I would dilly dally, you know, get my tea, and I'd go into the makeup room. And I'd sit in the chair, and V. Neal, who was the makeup artist, would be standing there with the clear
The glue.
thing of glue.
Oh, that was
Okay,
once that went
so
on. By
and
the end,
and
that was a
the
bit depressing. That first
right,
brush touching your skin,
exactly.
your mood.
The first, you're just, and she'd be there all, you know, ready with her weapon,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
brush, and I'd dilly dally with my cup
yeah.
for the last minute,
Mm.
and then stick it down on the counter. And that first, because they have to keep it cold, because
Yeah.
it doesn't work if you can't warm the glue. So she had that big, right?
Mm.
And this was where she went first with me. She went on the, like right over the nose around here, because they had to put that big prosthetic
That was
on,
the
you know.
anchor.
Yeah, that was the thing. The beak was
Yeah,
the
yeah,
anchor.
yeah.
But once that went on, it seemed to me, once you got over that initial brush, I don't know how you felt about it.
Yeah.
And they stuck the prosthetic on and with all the glue and powdered it. It felt like then it was an easier slope. It wasn't like downhill skiing from there. It was like kind of like just gliding along for the next couple of hours, few hours.
Yeah.
How'd that feel for you?
I pretty much the same. I'd come in my pajamas every morning because I just wasn't willing to commit to wearing a pair of
getting
jeans to work
dressed,
anymore.
right.
I was just in my
No,
pajamas. I'd come in every
yeah.
morning. We had an Oz trailer, Penguin trailer, and as I said, it was Bobby, Stella, Crystal, and the two mics. The music was already playing. The coffee was
Yeah,
ready to go.
right.
I'd have a shave in the morning just to make sure the skin was totally
Yeah.
soft because any little particles
No,
of
you
hair,
had to
the pieces
shave.
wouldn't stick.
Yeah, you had to shave big
And
time.
as soon as I committed my arse to the seat, that was for me. I'd sit down, and so I'd dilly dally. I'd walk around, have a coffee,
Yeah.
hugs for everyone. How's your night
Right.
last night? What
Yeah,
am I up
all
to
the-
today, and all that.
all the-
And then as soon as my arse touched the seat, and close the eyes, and then Mike would come in with the first brush, and as soon as the glue would hit,
Oh,
it was a bit of a it was a bit of
Oh,
a mood
man, it was
changer.
an eye-
It's a bit
it
of a
was-
downer. But
Like
then,
a-
as you
like
say,
a-
once the pieces started to go on, I'm going to say a transformation began. It wasn't that. It was the initial smack.
Yeah.
Of here we go again.
And then it was
and
comfortable.
then it was fine. Yeah,
it was
and then it was fine.
comfortable, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed
so-
it. Like
so-
I used it as an opportunity to. I mean, I could have learned my lines the night before, and I tried, but I'd top up on the lines in the day's work.
Yeah.
We'd be going through Spotify and throwing music up, and there was a lot of 80s music for some reason, and just good catch-up time, you know? I kind of loved it. It was really lovely.
Is that the way you work? Is that the way you work? You learn your lines the day of the shooting?
Or I have an earpiece during the take, and I don't have to learn them at all.
I'm going to remember this.
Yeah. It'll do you well for the rest of your career.
Yeah. No, I mean, like,
No.
if we ever work
No, but just
together, you're
top
going to
up,
learn your
top up,
lines.
just a top
don't
up.
give me the
Well,
bullshit.
he never shut
Don't
up.
give
He
me the
never shut
baloney.
up, like,
don't give me the stuff. Don't give me the stuff. Give me the sides and the this and the
He
that.
never-
It's got to get inside you, buddy.
I'd have my script pages gaffer taped to your
You're a
shirt.
liar.
Do a Brando, have it gaffer taped to your
yeah.
suit. No, I'd use it as a chance just to top up,
Yeah.
and I loved it. It was kind of magic time, that 3 hours, and then by the end I had a hood because I didn't want to go because I had the head on,
Yeah.
and my body was
Yeah.
skinny because I hadn't put the
Yeah.
thing
You
on
had to
yet.
put the thing on, yeah.
So
yeah.
it was very very strange, kind of, what do they call it? Uncanny valley thing where there was this Oz head and
yeah.
then this little skinny Irish body
Yeah.
beneath it. So I had like a John Merrick Elephant Man
Well,
hood
speaking
that they
of the-
made with 2 eye holes, and I put that on because there was cameras outside.
I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing. You see me through twice, and I always come out the other side better than before.
In the show, you were brilliant, and you never missed a beat. It was just like really wonderful. And there's so much emotion and so many different places to go with that character. And
Yeah, they really dug in because they had the 8 hours. The 5 or 6 scenes in the film, and then they had the 8 hours. But you had a good backstory as well. I mean, you were totally thrown out of the nest, weren't you? Your penguin was flung into the river.
Yeah.
At a very young age, and raised by penguins. So yours was more heightened and more comic book based, which is not to say it wasn't grounded,
absolutely.
of course.
No, Batman Returns was more operatic.
Yeah.
Then the Penguin was more real, based in that.
It was more street.
And I don't believe I had any brothers.
You didn't have any brothers? No.
Yeah.
You lonely?
How's that? No, I was just wondering how it felt for you.
To have the brothers. rather not talk
Yeah,
about
you'd
it.
rather not talk about that, would you?
It's a touchy point.
That's a touchy point in the story.
Accused of terrible things I had no part in at all.
You didn't. You never did that.
I loved them. Yeah,
You
the
loved
penguin.
them.
He. I have the distance now.
He.
Do you refer to yourself as I when you're working at times? Is there a moment where it goes from objective to subjective?
No, I'm always with myself.
Yeah. So it's personalized, like you're talking about the character with the director, you'd say I this or that.
Yeah,
some
I do
actors
that,
I notice.
and I do that, and I do this. And
yeah,
I do
yeah.
that.
And some say I think he this or I think she that, and
yeah,
but I notice.
I take the responsibility.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Yeah.
a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Same. It's not even a conscious thing though. I for me anyway. You just end up going I because you're spending more time in the character shoes than you are in your own. Often when you're shooting.
So how long did you, like, how was the day? What was the day like?
Oh man, the crew were savage. They amazing crew on it. We worked. So yeah, you get in at like 5 or 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
3 or 4 hours. You get onto set by 9 or 10, and then we'd shoot 10 or 11, 12. They couldn't work me 2 days in a row because of the amount of makeup, so the skin was breaking out.
Oh.
There was only a few weeks I did 4, and then most weeks it was 3-hour days, but there was like 3, 16, 17, 18-hour days.
Oh, wait a minute. It's a cakewalk.
Exactly.
I was there every day.
Exactly. Well,
I was there for 66 days.
66
in
days
makeup
on Sundays and making sandwiches for the crew.
Makeup and cooking pasta in the afternoon. having meals. Make the meatballs.
What was
I'll
what
tell
was
you
the best
good.
part of it?
Okay,
Tell me.
So I'm in the middle of a scene in the middle of the penguin's lair, and I've got this wonderful guy work with me, Josh Levinson, who has been my friend forever, and he's worked with me since the beginning of time, and he's a terrific guy, and he's on the set. I got penguins all around me. I got Tim. I
want to hear about the penguins.
I want to tell you about it. And I go to somebody, get Josh, and I got I'm all in the middle of, I got drool. I got the
purple
whole thing.
drool.
Josh comes over. He's, what the fuck is the matter? What's the matter with what the hell's the matter with Danny? I need to go over there. And he comes down, he goes all these catwalks, he's walking on, there's water all around us, and he comes all the way out, he walks all the way down these planks, and he comes up and he goes, what is it, Dan, what? I said, stir the sauce. Because,
That's lovely.
Yeah. So what do you want to know about?
I want to know about working with penguins.
Yeah. Well, I went down to the zoo, right? Okay, down to San Diego. They let me in the back to go hang out with the king penguins. And so I went down there.
I love this serious actorly research.
Got all bundled up, went in there, hung out for a while, smelled to high heaven. I mean, they don't worry about shitting all over the place.
Yeah.
They had a good time. And, nobody's going to stop them. And so I'm with somebody, and she's got the kids. She was an au pair, like a nanny. And
penguin nanny or human nanny?
No, she's a human nanny.
All right,
and she's with the kids and watching. They're all on the other side of the glass, and I'm in hanging out with the penguins. It was more like that kind of thing. And she says to the woman on the way there, "How big are the penguins?" He says, "Oh, they can grow 90 to 100 pounds."
That's a big boy.
Right? And there's 3 or 4 beats, and she's a British nanny, and she goes, "A 9,200-pound penguin. That's huge."
9,200.
It's my only joke.
Is that a toilet? Yeah. You mean to tell me we've been living here all this time and you never told me we had a bathroom?
Tell me about Philadelphia. It's Always Sunny in.
What?
Tell me about that.
What a transition.
Yeah. Fuck the penguin now.
Well,
Enough of that
okay,
shit.
it's like...
I want to hear about that and when you started it and how it came to you. And it's been, what, 15 years you've been on it? The show's been 17?
Well, we've been together for 20 years.
What, creating
We
it?
shot, I think, 17 seasons.
Yeah.
I was on it for 16 seasons. Been on it. We're doing... I missed the first 8 shows, and now we're going to do another season.
Was that intentionally the first 8, or did they decide to bring you in after?
They were doing the show,
and
then I joined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it remarkably different from anything you've done?
It's just a ball.
The freedom?
It's just the freedom
of
it's
it all?
great. Yeah, and they write the scripts, and it's really great. And Charlie and Glenn and Rob and Caitlin, they're all terrific people to work with. And it's free.
Yeah, that's what I feel like.
There's a freedom to it. You can improvise and screw around.
The character of Frank Reynolds,
Frank
isn't it?
Reynolds,
Yeah.
amazing
Is it one of your
character.
favorites?
One of my favorites.
What
Well,
are
you
the
know, it's
top
like,
three? Can I ask you what are your
it's
top
weird.
three?
It's
I know
weird.
that you've
It's
enjoyed.
weird. It's like, you know, you can't. It's like you say, like, you know,
know.
would you like playing the Hitman and Bros? Would you like?
It's impossible.
You know, you can't do it. You
Yeah.
go. They're all like your babies, you know. So
Yeah,
you
they all
can't
have
say,
their virtues,
you know,
yeah.
the Louis De Palma, or this one or that one or the other one or the Penguin. You know, you can't. And why is it that I'm with you and I've got an Irish brogue? I can't understand why I keep falling into it, even though you
I have a dialect
you
coach to
hardly
help you with
have an
that.
accent.
Has it faded? Yeah.
Is it red?
Has it faded?
Is it red? It's gone.
Has it faded? It has little. It's softened up.
It's so cute.
It's softened up through the years.
I love it. No wonder
But wait,
you.
let's talk about
I wonder-
Frank. Let's get back to you. And
Yeah,
let's get off
okay,
me because you're going to start
okay,
slagging how I'm
we're
dressed
talking-
next. But tell me about playing Frank and how
Well,
grotesque
okay, so-
and how narcissistic
So the thing,
and
okay, I'll give you the
psychopathic,
I'll give you the inside
naughty
scoop.
he is.
In the
yeah.
very, very beginning.
And how much of that is you?
In the very, very beginning, well, you know, a lot of it is me because
Always
I'm really
bits.
like I like to take the low road. You know, the thing about Always Sunny was like I worked with Landgraf, who is the mayor of television. He's like the chairman of FX, and I worked with him years and years and years ago at Jersey Films. He worked at Jersey with me when I had the company.
Right.
He sent me 8 episodes of this show that he was working on that these guys put together, you know, Charlie Day and Rob McElhaney and Glenn
That's
Howerton.
amazing.
And I watched the 8 episodes. I thought it was hysterical. And he said, I'm thinking of picking it up and doing it. I said, yeah, this is like what people would love to see this show. And then about 6 months later, or 4 or 5 months later, they called me and asked me if I'd like to be part of it. And I didn't know how I was going to fit in. I said, what am I going to do? Just Danny DeVito going into this show? And so I met with the guys. I loved them. They were terrific guys. And I said, if you can make it in an organic, you know, some kind of character that would fit in, how's it going to fit into the mold with you guys? You've already got this thing rolling for 8 wonderful episodes. And they said, oh, yeah, we can. And they're so creative.
Loose.
It just, they come, you know,
Yeah,
ideas
yeah.
zap out of them.
Yeah,
So we know how to make it work. Here's the way. You're Dennis and Dee's dad.
That's it.
What?
Yeah.
What? You know, and I took, you know, you look at them, right? They're two,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, good. Doesn't fucking
Too
matter.
tall,
Yeah.
blonde.
Who cares?
Yeah, so my wife was a whore. So who knows if they're my kids, you know what I mean? So it worked.
Yeah.
And I had a good time, started doing it. And then it became, you know, they write the scripts, they come up with all these wacky ideas. They'll go with anything.
Some of it live studio audience, some of it outside.
No, we have no audience.
No, did you at the start?
We have no audience.
Never.
No, it's just like this. You can say anything you want.
Yeah.
See, there I go. Here comes my brogue again.
Do it remind you of doing Taxi? And then it was
No,
just the
because
creativity?
there we had a live audience.
Yeah, but the
Taxi,
creativity and the speed
Taxi,
with which you were...
Yeah, well, also very, very creative people.
Yeah.
I mean, every day you come to work and you get a screenplay or a script, 33, 38 pages, whatever it was gold. And then you have to, like, you know, we get up and mess it up and they'd fix it and they'd tailor it to you and
Nice.
everything. Well, it's similar on Sunny.
So I felt it
Because
might
we
be.
go there and they're all in the mix. So usually we're all in the show together, and whether or not you're on your own or whatever with a guest star or whatever, they're there all the time. So they're always manipulating it and moving it around, and you know, you can pitch and it's not like
Loads of improv.
it's not the same thing as what we were doing with, like, what you do with the Penguin or what I did with Oswald. Oswald, I stuck to the script. You know, it was,
Yeah,
you know,
same.
and same thing with
Same.
you. You're close to it.
Yeah,
you
and
know,
it's
you're
very
close to it.
structured.
It's
and
structured
yeah.
and everything, and there's no riffing off. I mean, every
Yeah.
once in a while you can, you know, you can have some. You probably did go off the script a little bit.
Couple of times, and
couple
not
of
much.
times, but not much. Yeah.
But the show is about the madness of being, like, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Just about the chaos and the madness of being a human.
Yeah,
And being
it's
messy.
like
and being messy.
Yeah, and it's like, I always looked at it as like, you remember I Love Lucy?
Yeah, of
It's
course.
like I Love Lucy on acid.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do anything you want. So you go and then all of a sudden something's throw them off a building, do this, come out of a couch.
And do you have story
naked.
ideas as well? Do you bring
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
you can pitch to these
Yeah,
guys.
it's so fun.
Oh God, they're great.
So it must be one of the most fun jobs you've had for the looseness and the creativity and the lack of preciousness. And I mean that as a virtue.
That's right.
I mean that as a virtue.
That's right.
Yeah.
We go
Not
to
that
work.
they don't care. Just want to be
work,
clear.
we have,
To be unprecious, sometimes you have to care loads and give it away.
It's reverence.
Give it over.
Yeah, you care about it. You go to work. You have a good time, and the good thing is we shoot out of order. We block shoot. You'll change your shirt and stay in the same set. And you do the next show. So if we do 8 shows, we'll mix them up. Sometimes you do all the living rooms. It's like amazing.
That's great, man.
It's really cool.
So much fun.
Once in a while we go back and do things.
And it's in Philadelphia, it's shot.
No, it's all
Where?
here.
It's outside. It's in the next room.
In California.
It's in
Where
California.
we should make more movies. We should make more movies and
Talk
television.
about that. Why is everyone?
Let's stay
all the
here
work is,
and do it. Come on, you guys.
I'm doing something here now.
What are you
and
doing?
The crew, a show called Sugar. The second season of it was on Apple, and we have about 80% of the same crew that we had the
It's
first
called
season.
what?
Sugar. And the crew
Sugar.
is magic.
Okay,
They're
great.
magic, but they're all
Where do
telling me
you
the stories
shoot?
about how hard it's been, man. How much they've struggled all over. We're shooting a lot in K-Town, Koreatown, all
Okay,
over
so it's
Hollywood.
on location.
All over Hollywood and Paramount Studios.
Yeah, it's great.
people are so
California,
grateful,
Let's
like-
shoot here. We got to look at the sound stage. We do anything we want in here.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
bring the business
I
back
agree.
to LA.
Yeah, come on.
Every once in a while, go to Tahiti. I go to some kind of exotic
Nice,
location.
yeah. Are you still fire blowing?
Get a
Are you
bu-
still
yo,
fire blowing?
all the
Yes,
time.
yes.
Oh yeah, do it in my backyard.
Juggling,
Tongue.
unicycle,
Yeah. Oh, no, stay off the unicycle.
the hips.
Yeah,
That's because
the
you're
balance
60 now.
isn't what it
That's
used to
because
be.
you're 60 now.
You run into things.
It's okay, baby. Mr. Vengeance here, you don't bite.
Who is your Catwoman?
Yeah, Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz.
But I did a couple of scenes with Zoe. Yeah, she was
Right.
wonderful. Only briefly, I was the proprietor of
Oh,
a
man.
nightclub, and she was one of the
Okay,
ladies
so
that
yeah.
worked the floor.
Okay, so Oz.
She was amazing in the film, I thought, Zoe. She was beautiful. I
Oz
mean,
was
beautiful.
right.
Yeah.
Really, really, really great.
Inhabited.
Zoe.
Obviously, she's.
Yeah.
incredibly
See, Oz.
looking, but-
See, Oswald. I had Michelle Pfeiffer. I'm not comparing anything. I'm just saying.
You worked very. You were in cahoots.
She was a
with her.
goddess.
You were in
What?
cahoots with her.
Oh, and my God,
Zoe's
if I
a
knew
goddess
she was
too.
if I knew she was gonna be in the show that day, in that scene,
Would you brush your
I
teeth
just
that morning?
Oh my God, I got
Would
all,
you?
I got all flustered.
Did you have an extra shower?
I mean, when I, put extra makeup on, give me another pound of makeup, stick to, God Almighty, it was very difficult to keep my.
How was it to work with her?
She's great. She was great.
She was
and so-
fantastic in that.
Just.
But you were
so
both
wonderful.
fantastic in it.
Just so wonderful, and I lusted
You were
after
very
her.
dangerous.
I loved her.
We're moving
I
on
loved
from your
her.
lust.
I
I'm not
loved
getting
her.
into your.
I loved her. I just wanted everybody else to disappear.
All right,
What?
so just tell me.
Okay, so go
what
ahead.
form did
But
the
that
lust
was
take?
the penguin.
Behaviorally,
It was not me. It was the
what form did
penguin. It was Oswald. It
'Cause
was lustful.
Was
and
she
was like,
nervous when she was working with you?
I-
Did
I-
she
I-
call
no, I
security?
thought she was.
Did she say, "Tell him to stop stirring
I
the"?
thought she kind of liked it.
Tell him to stop
I got a
stirring the
feeling she liked
sauce.
it.
Tell
I
him
had
to
a
stop
feeling she
stirring
liked
the-
it. I had a feeling she liked Oswald. She liked Oswald.
Why didn't you get a movie together? The two of yous?
Cobblepot.
Why didn't you get a movie?
I don't know.
The two of yous.
We had enough
Oz
of
and
each other.
Catwoman.
We had enough of each other.
By the end of the day.
Yeah, by the end of the day, we were fed up. Can't get enough of her. Oh, I know the kid who
Back
was
to the
in
craft
your
of
show.
acting.
The kid who was in your show.
Renzi. Let's talk about Renzi.
Oh,
Because I
what a
feel Renzi
kid.
hasn't got enough press.
What a good kid.
This scumbag, he disrespected me. You're gonna disrespect me, Vic? No, because you and me, we're in this together now.
I had lots to do, and the makeup was a big trick. And then obviously Kristen Milioti was amazing, and she had loads of amazing stuff to
Beautiful
do.
stuff.
And then
You had a
even
good cast.
yeah, Dee Dee, who played Fran, Oz's mom, she had great stuff to do, and she had Lewy body dementia in the show. She had a lot of dramatic stuff. And Renzi, young Renzi, kind of kept the center. You know the
Yeah.
way sometimes a
Yeah.
role has to hold everything together, and it's not the most punchy role.
Yep.
It's not the flashiest
Yep.
role, and so he didn't get all the nominations that everyone ended up getting.
Well,
but he was
he was
extraordinary.
He was
And
extraordinary
he kept the whole thing
support.
together. He was the
Yeah.
moral center of the
Yeah.
whole piece of
Yeah.
8 hours, you know?
Yeah, and you could tell how important you were to him.
Ah,
Not,
no, I loved working with Renzi.
I mean, Oz
Yes, thank
was
you.
to
Let's
him.
clarify.
Let's clarify.
He never returns my text like
No,
you.
no.
He never.
But
But
you just brought up your mom. Plays your
Deirdre,
mom.
yeah. Dee
And
Dee.
there's a
She's
moment.
brilliant, wasn't she?
One of my favorite moments in the show, I think, was, well, there's so many in
Paul
in the
Rubin
show.
played your dad.
Yeah,
didn't
Paul Rubin threw me out the window.
he? Yeah. He flung
You get in bed with her. I mean, she's in bed.
you. Yeah.
And
I
Oz
get
comes
on bed with her.
and God
not in
and
bed.
Oz comes
I get
back
on bed.
and he puts his arm around.
On bed, not in.
Yeah, not in
Let's
bed.
be clear.
You got on bed with her, and you're your mama's boy, and there's one. She just did one get off. That was so priceless.
Get off.
The rejection cut
The
deep.
rejection just
It
cut deep.
Yeah.
You were such
An
a
eighth of an inch
bad
of
boy.
makeup. It cut deep.
You were so bad.
Yeah, that relationship was somewhat toxic.
It was
somewhat toxic between
was-
Mama and her little
Yeah,
penguino.
that must have hurt.
Yeah,
Get off me.
get off me. That's
Oh,
all he was trying to do, man. That's all he wanted. Was his mother's love and the exclusivity of it. That's all he wanted. So bye, brothers. I didn't mean to. He didn't mean to. He didn't mean to.
Oh, come
he
on.
didn't mean to kill him.
You shut him in there.
No, but he didn't mean to. He's not an architectural engineer. He didn't know that the water was going to rise 20 feet and there was going to be no,
Is this the rationale?
kind of.
Is this what you've been
That's
telling
what I've been
yourself?
living with for 3
Oh
years.
my God. God, how do you live with it?
Deflect.
I tell you.
Tell us why you left your brothers to die in those tunnels.
The hell are you talking about?
Would you do the Penguin again if there was a
Absolutely.
revisitation? If Tim called you up,
Absolutely.
would you?
Oh, absolutely.
What did you like about the character? Like, why would you
I
do it
just
again?
loved
Just
it
the fun?
because it was you know, it gave you a freedom to burst out. Well, you too.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
had
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know that you can go off the rails with
Yeah.
something. I mean, you had a little bit more restraints because you were in a totally other realm. The operatic element of Tim Burton's Batman Returns was my favorite thing about it. I mean, yeah, you know, with the music and the sets, and you felt like all the world was a stage.
That's what I loved about it.
Oswald's realm and
Yeah.
his penguins and his minions and his passion and all of that I loved about it. I mean, that's a character that you
Did you take it home with you at all? Like, do you
Mm.
take it home? Like, if a character you're playing is having very extreme thoughts, emotions,
no.
behaviors, it doesn't come home at all.
no.
It does. I
No.
mean, come home. I
Not
mean,
go home to Rhea and the kids.
yeah. Lovely. The line is clear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah.
separate. Yeah, otherwise it would be really. I played some really despicable characters.
Yeah,
It would be
yeah.
hard to live with Louis.
Yeah.
It would be hard to live with any of the
Yeah,
characters that I
yeah.
played. You know, like
Yeah,
even
you
Frank.
can't.
Frank would be really ridiculous to live with. You know, and certainly Oz, you have to leave.
Oh my God, yeah.
You got to
But
shed that.
but
Once you shed that,
it was so ugly by the end.
oh God.
He was so by the end, and there's an ugliness that your Oswald and my Oz shared, a kind of an uncouth grotesqueness
Yeah.
that they shared.
Yeah.
But the Penguin Oz was so dark by the end. I was just I was over it. I was still grateful for it. Like, I never lost sight of the fact that I used to watch Burgess Meredith and then you sitting on
Yeah.
my arse in
Mhm.
Dublin when I was 13, 14, watching
Mhm.
you. When I was 6, I was watching Burgess Meredith. Quack, quack, quack. Like, I never lost sight of how lucky I was. But by the end of it, I was kind of, I'm glad it's coming to an end. It was
Uh-huh.
just so, I think it was being completely buried. I had
Yeah.
nothing of myself.
Who was your Batman?
Robert Pattinson,
Robert Pattinson. Okay. And I had Michael,
the great Michael
the
Keaton.
great Michael.
And Robert, I mean, what a thing to step into. I thought he was brilliant in it and completely original. And yeah, it was gorgeous, how interpretation.
So in your world,
Yeah.
what was your refresh my memory about
The relationship between,
yeah, between you and the Batman.
I think in the world that Matt Reeves presented in the film, that I featured him first. I think Batman, he was known about, his vigilantism was known of, but he hadn't quite become the staple of Gotham society. I mean, I know that Bruce Wayne is a staple, even if he's in the distance, he's a staple of Gotham. But Batman also becomes a staple of Gotham society and the running of the city. He hadn't become that. He was still kind of at a beginning of sorts. So my Penguin knew of him and kind of, I suppose, because Oz is always he's dreaming of being distinguished. He's dreaming of rising to the top. He's a very aspirational character. And so Batman represents that. There's an envy.
Okay,
but there's also an admiration. Like when he meets him, he looks at him, he's like, wow, look at you, you're everything they say you are and all that kind of stuff.
But you knew that he had the penthouse.
And
and you didn't.
But I instantly put myself, I say to him, you're everything they say, ain't you? And then I say, I guess we both are. Like he instantly's like, we're two peas in a pod.
Right.
He's bananas. Like he thinks he's great, my fella. And he's not. But he has this aspirational aspect. But then I think by the end of it, I think he would love to. I mean, the ultimate thing would be to destroy somebody as powerful as that. That would be the ultimate thing for my eyes. Would be to destroy somebody as powerful.
Well, you got to get rid of your enemy.
Exactly.
He's your enemy.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. In respect to the differences, I think Oswald. Was all about the power.
Right.
Was all about the primacy, all about the rule that he could take over. Right. He wanted to be the guy.
Yeah. These are parallels, though.
They're parallels.
I think the lack of similarity is much more presented in the physicality of both characters and behaviorally, as you say. Yours is more operatic, and my fella's more in the gangster vein. The gangster genre.
You're looking for a real palatial place to live.
Yeah. I'm looking for the sewer.
Mother.
I'm looking for the sewer. It's funny enough.
Oh, you are.
I mean, I'm trying to rise myself in the sewer, but I'm looking for what you had.
Yeah.
Like, you had
that's
that empire.
What I was going to say.
So you're leaving one empire to go to another.
Yeah, I would be very content.
I mean, that empire, that underground sewer was such a castle of sorts and a place of power.
As long as I could get Catwoman to visit me every once in a while.
It always comes back.
He always goes back to one thing.
Yeah, Michelle. Michelle, be still my beating penguin heart.
Yes, that shiny suit. Yes. Peeled me like a grape. What?
Did you pull a string? Did you try and pull a thread?
I didn't.
Did you try and pull the thread?
Colin,
nobody was looking?
Listen, don't even go near that. I was like a respectful penguin. I rode to set in my little penguin cart. You had a hood over your head.
How's the cart?
Oh yeah. Well, Tim didn't want anybody
cart.
to see the whole thing, so he built me a little golf cart with a circus.
Is that what happened?
Everything he does is like the circus, and so he had like a whole a circus. He had a curtain around it, and I would get in it. And my trailer where I dressed and everything had a tent in front of it. Oh yeah, I had a trailer. This was big time. Oh no, come on, Peter Goober. Get out of the thing. Get into the little cart without anybody seeing me. They'd back it into the thing. I'd get in. They shut the curtain. And they drive me over to the set.
Felt special,
because if you really looked on the outside, like in the hills over there by Universal or wherever we shot, the Penguin's Lair, there were guys in the trees.
Were there really?
Yeah, with long lens cameras.
Yeah.
Trying to get a shot.
They were just on the sidewalk in New York,
but
of course.
We were way ahead of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in my little. Yes.
Yours was more of a production, but that's fitting considering it was Tim. It was more fantastical. The golf cart, the curtains, the whole thing. It was like vaudeville for you. I just put a $2 hood on my head.
I had to
cut out the eyes with the scissors in front of me and said, "Oh, that doesn't." I had an eye here. Look, an eye hole here, and an eye hole up here.
Oh, Colin, you were abused, my boy. They abused you.
Next time, golf cart. If we do season 2, I demand a golf cart.
Are you going to do season 2?
I have no idea.
Would you do season 2?
Yeah, I'd love to.
You would?
I mean, if they,
Yeah, why not? Come on, back up the truck,
if they
baby.
Back up the golf cart.
You bet.
4
Come on, let's
coming
do
in.
it. All right.
Would you do it? Would you?
Oh, absolutely.
God, imagine if you could be, if they did a season 2 and you could be in that.
The The old penguin.
Would you do it? Papa Penguin.
Oh, the
Papa
old penguin. Ah, nastier than ever. Nastier than ever. You ain't seen
that
nothing
again.
yet.
Do what you just did again.
Do it.
You're going to hell, sweetheart.
You should take In Bruges and a little bit of the penguin and put it together just to see the two how different it is. You're all yourself in, where was it, Belgium?
Bruges, yeah.
Yeah, that must have been great to work with, in that team
That
that
was
you
a
had.
blast. I begged
You
him
guys together, the
Brendan?
oh God,
Love Brendan.
you're so great
Love
together.
Brendan. Did you work with Brendan?
Now, no, how many have you done now? Two together?
2.
Yeah, and the both of them were.
Hopefully you can do another one in another 15 years. It was 15 years, I think, between
you
Bruges
got to
and...
cut that.
Martin's in
half.
Easter Island now shooting. I don't know what his obsession is with islands.
He's
I wonder what little furry animals he's going to have in
like,
this one.
he's
He had
such
bunny
a
rabbits and
talented
stuff.
man.
He's brilliant, isn't he?
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He wrote in
He's
Bruges
brilliant.
in 3
he
weeks.
just like it
Danny,
did.
3 weeks.
Well, he spews it out. He lets it go.
Yeah.
He lets the dialogue is
Yeah,
just
he
like
has a little
flowing.
think about
even
it.
even with if you look at Rafe on the phone,
Yeah.
just the phone call.
Yeah, yeah.
That phone call in the movie was
Yeah, tasty,
know,
tasty stuff.
Just laying it all out, giving you all the support. He's got the gift of the gab. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
It's
he's
nice
brill.
stuff.
Love
But
Martin.
so what was it like? You were there for how long shooting?
Where in Bruges?
Mm-hmm.
In Bruges it was great because there was 460 beers, different beers on tap, and I was about 14 months sober. It was depressing. It was hard. I was like, ooh, should have come here.
You weren't
Should have
drinking
come
beer.
here a year and a half ago.
You weren't drinking beer in those scenes with.
No, near beer.
What was it, near beer?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So all I had was chocolates and linen. Was all I could shop for.
And the woman who was with you, what's her name? She was great.
Clemence Posey,
Yeah.
the French actress.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was wonderful.
Yeah, terrific.
It was great, man. It felt very no frills shooting in Bruges. Like we'd shoot and then we'd go, okay, we're around the corner for the next scene, and you'd help with the equipment, and we'd all the crew and cast would go around the corner 50 yards, put our equipment down,
and
shoot it. It felt very on the fly.
Yeah, it was
not
good.
as free as Martin's quite structured in his writing, and I think because he spends so much time and care creating what he creates, even if it's only 3 weeks, he's been thinking of it and the care that's gone in.
Yeah.
To the right, so he hears,
prepared,
he hears, but
understands.
he's like, he'll say there's a comma there. Not as much anymore.
Yeah, yeah,
But during
yeah,
in
yeah.
Bruges, he was like,
Yeah,
you see the comma?
Full stop.
Fucking
Full stop. Full
honest to
stop,
God.
baby.
Back then,
no,
yeah,
I got
so
you.
it was,
No, I like that.
but there
I
still
tell
was
you
a
though,
sense
I
of
like
freedom
that.
because
Do you
his
like
writing.
That? Do you like that? I like that.
I like being.
I like that.
I like
being
direction.
disciplined. Yeah.
I like direction. Yeah.
Sticking to it. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I love
Don't just-
direction. I love
just don't go-
ideas. I love
yeah,
playing. I think it is
You
a
play
big
with
sandbox.
it. You leave it free, but you also
Have
want to
structure
respect
and-
the words and.
Yeah, absolutely.
hmm
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I love cutting a line, but not until I say it.
I'll tell you the
And I realised how
best-
shite I just said it.
one of the best body slams from a building
Ooh.
in that movie.
Oh, Brendan.
Oh, DeVito. When he hits
It's
the
so
ground,
nasty.
oh my good Lord.
It was quite tricky to do the ensuing death scene. They
Right.
had a hole.
Yeah,
They had a hole in the ground that Brendan's whole body went
It's
into,
in.
and then they just popped bones everywhere.
It's
I
like
was supposed to have dialogue with him while there was little chicken bones.
He
I pretended it was.
get my gun.
Yeah,
Whatever
it
it
was great,
was,
wasn't
right?
it? And then he
Yeah.
did this thing with his eye, Brendan, just before he died. It went up to the left, and then
He died great,
beautifully.
where the eyeballs go up and then straight.
I'm not just imagining that. That's what happened.
No,
wasn't it?
that happened.
Yeah. I remember
No, he
at
went.
the time.
He went like.
I was like, that was so interesting. Make a note of that. for
Make
the
a note
future.
of that one. You know that one in the Kevin Spacey death in
Oh, Nelly Confidential.
Nelly Confidential.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Killer.
How long did it stay on him?
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah,
Kevin.
yeah.
And he-
Nelly Confidential is an amazing film.
He
Oh,
was-
you were gross in that as well. I'm
See,
seeing a
that's
pattern.
the thing.
I'm
You're
seeing a
talking-
pattern.
You're talking about taking characters home.
Yeah,
you don't want to
totally.
take
Not your
Sid,
scumbags.
Sid home.
Yeah.
No, hush,
What was
hush.
his name? Hush, hush.
Yeah.
Always
yeah.
had that little 20. Was it 20?
Yeah.
Ready to
Yeah,
go.
just
Folded and ready to
waiting
go.
to find out.
You were
what-
so good.
Waiting to find out
And
what
yet I
team
was
you're playing
heartbroken
for.
when you got
Well,
it
I
at
got
the end.
beat Well, Russell Crowe
Yeah.
doesn't pull a punch.
Tragic.
He's such a good
Did he give it to
actor.
you?
But I mean, like, you know, I got bitch slapped
Bud White.
big time.
Bitch slapped by Bud.
No, he really
ESPB.
took me down. You guys should work. You work together with Russell Crowe?
We did a thing, yeah.
What'd you do?
We did a thing called Winter's Tale.
Ah,
I worked with him, yeah. I had a great time. I didn't get to do as much as I would have liked to have done with him because,
oh, you guys have killed together.
it's funny now, at the start of this acting thing for a living, I was seeing a lot of people that I grew up admiring and idolizing and all that stuff. And then now it's getting to the stage where I'm getting old and I'm working with a lot of people I'd never met before.
Yeah.
So it's all the passage of time.
We met at my house.
Yeah, I remember.
How old were you?
With Rhea. I remember Rhea
This
well.
was you making the rounds,
I was
right?
23 or 24.
You were just, what did you,
I came
what was
for
the
a free
deal?
meal.
You came for a free meal.
Yeah, our beer anyway. I remember
We sat in the yard.
we sat in the yard. I can see it
remember
now on
that.
the table. Yeah,
You were like
It was lovely.
24 years old?
23 or 24.
Hey, you little punk.
Was there anything going? Was there any work? Or just come over for a free beer and a couple of biscuits?
Holy Toledo.
Or
Just like that, out of the blue.
it was lovely.
Come
You were
over to my
lovely. You were
house for a
so
beer.
you were so welcoming.
Mhm.
You really were back then.
Well, you know Geraldine
How things have. Geraldine.
Hughes.
How do I know Geraldine Hughes? Why did you just do that with your eyebrows? Come on.
You can't be the only Irishman who doesn't know Geraldine Hughes.
Well, I'm feeling left. I think I might
Okay,
be.
you're left out.
Who? Do I have to look her up?
She was working for me then. And see, there I go with the axe.
Is she
was
still working for you?
me then. I like talking to you because I can get a little bit of accent. Let's do some work on me. Let's see. I'm like terrible with accents. Go
No,
ahead.
keep going. No, keep
Yeah,
going.
keep
It sound
going.
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit.
So tell me a little bit about Geraldine Hughes. Tell me a little
Geraldine
bit.
Hughes. Geraldine Hughes is an actress, and she went to USC, I think. She's an actress, wonderful, UCLA, and she started working with us as a nanny. She was working with my kids, and I think she was working with us.
You don't
for
always
them.
have to sound like you're dying of desperation when you
Okay.
try and do an Irish
Well,
accent.
Irish guys are that way. You guys are always like.
But there is a bit of a rush to get to the end.
It's like almost
There is
the
a bit of
waters.
a-
The waters. Talk about
There is a
getting.
bit of a rush.
Talk about getting slammed into the sewer pipe where it's flooding up. You guys are always on the edge of the precipice. Are you
You're not
ever
fu-
calm?
You're not fully wrong.
Are you ever calm? Are you ever relaxed?
Yeah.
You do relax?
Yeah.
Tell me how you relax.
I watch films.
Okay.
I read. I sauna.
Oh,
I run. I started running a few years ago.
you're in great shape.
I'm in decent shape and I
Yeah, you
run.
do.
And,
You look good.
but I do relax. I used to be able to. I can now. And then at times I get very heightened. At times I would buzz with an anxious energy as well.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah.
Do you swing or are you stable?
I'll tell you the thing about the drinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If I don't drink, I'm in great shape.
Yeah.
So I've been cutting way back on the booze.
Wine? Anything.
Just a sip of wine, but I stay, no, I'm a martini guy, I just go for the gin, do the smoking the cigars, do the
Oh,
ba-ba.
do you?
Oh yeah. But when I'm on the health kick, which I am now, I'm like kicking back on the staying off the booze, you smoke a
miss it?
stogie every once in a while. What?
You miss it, the booze?
No. Don't.
Me neither.
Don't miss it. And I feel much better, sleep better.
Yeah.
You know the whole thing. It's like really
Yeah.
interesting. But I understand staying off of it totally. I do understand.
Yeah, that was for me. It was a very particular
It's
thing.
very
yeah.
important to do if you need to do that. I do understand that. But I used to make limoncello.
Oh, limoncello.
I stopped doing it for a while. It was a little bit.
Little
I had
hobby.
lemons in Sorrento, and I picked the taste of it. And
Do you
I
have a
got-
place in Italy?
What?
Do you keep a place in
No,
Italy?
no. I go
Would
to
you go
to
there?
Italy once in a while.
To Sorrento?
I love Italy.
Wait, where's your family from?
From a place called San Fele, which is in Basilicata, which is like my grandmother's from Potenza and one grandmother from Calabria. So it's southern, middle, above, on the top. If you were to go Naples and you were going to go all the way over, right on the middle on the top, if you look it up, Sanfele, San Fele.
San Fele.
It's a beautiful medieval town where my grandpa's from.
Wow.
The kids went to visit, and I've never been, but I'm definitely going to go.
You
this
haven't
year.
been to this, and the
Not
kids
to
have been
that
there.
town. No.
And the kids went there because they wanted to
The
see where their dad's
kids
family.
were traveling around, and they all they knew because I talk about it a lot, the San Fele of it all, and they went and they took a road trip and went up and stayed close by.
Who came to America from Italy?
All of them. My
But,
grandparents.
your grandparents were the first?
18 something. Yeah, the end. Yeah, they came over Ellis Island.
The whole thing.
Settled in. My grandpa. One of them was a tailor. He went down to the shore, New Jersey. He opened a little tailor
My
shop.
grandmother was a seamstress.
And my grandmother. Your mom?
My grandmother was a seamstress.
Grandmother.
Yeah,
So they
she made all the school uniforms in the neighborhood.
There you go.
Yeah, it was
You know,
that.
and my so one of them was into agriculture. He was a farmer. The other one was like kind of like the tailor. The two grandparents. I never knew them.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like the late baby. I was the fifth baby in the family, and my next oldest sister was 10 years older, and then my oldest sister was Angie. She was 16 years older. So I was like their kids. My mom was old, you know, like
spread. And was there any?
Did you know your grandparents?
I never met my dad's parents.
Yeah.
His mother died when he was 13 or 14. His father was dead by the time he was 24. But my mother's side, her mother, my grandmother was a seamstress, as I said. And on my dad's side, his father, my grandfather that I never met, he was a cobbler. He used to make my dad said he used to be falling asleep at night and he had a little wood shed out the back with a paraffin light because they didn't have electricity.
Right.
Literally, it's kind of like when I was walking barefoot to school in the snow. But it's that. And my dad used to go sleep at night listening to the sound of his father tapping the nails into the heels of the shoe and stretching the leather, and that's what he could remember. Beautiful stuff.
Ria's grandfather.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
same thing.
Wow.
Yeah, she said that she remembers him, and she remembers his hands.
I mean, that's art.
Being so rough.
Rough.
From working. And she remembered as a kid.
Wow.
That when her grandpa would like touch her, like just come over and say hello,
scratch
touch
her back almost.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
She could feel his fingers.
Oh, what a detail.
That like the only grandma I knew was she was in her 80s. She lived in Brooklyn, right? And she broke her hip. And I remember this like I was a little boy, and we would go visit. I lived in New Jersey, so every Sunday, my father being a good mama's boy like Oz, get back to Oz.
Yeah. Nice.
We would go visit my grandma out in Flatbush. So we'd hop in the car and we'd go out. We'd first stop down in Little Italy, get all the cakes and everything, and then bring them out to her. And my aunt would make pasta, good sauce and meatballs and whatever. And then sometimes I'd bring a plate of something for my grandma's who couldn't come out of her room. And I remember going in as a little boy, knocking on the door. And I'd come in. She spoke only Italian, and she was so gentle and so wonderful. And I'd look at her. She had to be 85 years old at the time, 86.
And you would have been?
And I was like
10 or something?
I was like really younger, even 7, maybe. I remember getting close to her, and her face was all, lined and like just
beautiful.
Beautiful.
Just history.
She had greenish brown eyes. It's like this southern, she was from southern Italy. She was, she was from Calabria. So that's like way, way down she had friends from, Albania and, they were
in the neighborhood.
It was all mixed up down in there. And that was the biggest memory, bringing her some broth or something like that. As soon as they shut the cameras off, then we can really have a ball. I'll text you as soon as I get home.
Will you let me know
I'll text
about the thing?
About
the thing. The return of the Mac. The return of the penguin.
Love you, brother.
Love you too.